Hi, everyone, and welcome to the screencast for January 7th. Schedule for the week. We have a thermometer there showing that we will have a warmer week. I know we're all excited about that and getting outside to recess. Just a couple things to point out. We have a para meeting for paras that are interested in participating from 3:30 to 4:30. I believe in the conference room after school on Monday. A PTA meeting on Tuesday, January 9th. We would love to have a few staff people be part of that. If you can, that would be great. We have our staff meeting scheduled for Wednesday. We'll be talking a little bit more about PBIS and some things like that. And those are all the big things that we have coming up. Yeah, I want to thank Kristen Fett and the social committee for putting on a great holiday party, some fun pictures here, and had a great time. Also, John Lynn, congratulations. John, our evening custodian, will be heading to Poplar Bridge, so we wish him the best of luck in his move to Poplar. Little information about report card. There's a link here with information I think that was sent out toward the end of last week. But just so you know, we'll be sending home paper copies again and an info sheet similar to what we did last year. Math early adopters, I believe you have a little bit different information sent home on math and the new curriculum. Social emotional component, I put that on there. Classroom teachers, if you can include something personal to each student, something letting parents know that you know about those kids more than just the grades, that would be great. Report card schedule, Monday, January 22nd. That's when our grading window opens. Envelopes and classroom labels will be put in your box that week. And on Monday, February 5th, 8 a.m. So that right when we come back from that weekend, the grading window closes and we'll be posting grades online right at that time. So everything needs to be completed before Monday, February 5th. That Friday before that, that's when we have a staff development day and there is time for grading in the afternoon. So check those out, make sure that you know what you're doing on that. We will be, like I said, printing out report cards and putting those in your boxes. Usually that takes a couple days for Michelle to get that taken care of, so just be aware she'll be working on that on Monday and Tuesday of that week, and report cards will go home on February 8th. Just a little bit more information about our staff meeting on Wednesday. Part of our staff meeting will focus on PBIS. Just some keywords here, key terms here, just to review because we haven't talked about that except for before winter break. I also included a link down here at the bottom if you're interested to find out more information about PBIS. This is the PBIS Minnesota website. Lots of information there. After we meet on Wednesday, we're going to have staff, teachers, people in our building vote on Friday, January 12th, this next Friday, on whether we want to move forward with PBIS. The reason we're moving fast on that is because we need to have our application in by the 18th, which is the following week. And I'll talk a little bit about PBIS with our paras that are able to meet on Monday. I sent out information to staff, to non-teacher staff through a screencast talking about PBIS also. So we have time to talk more about it on Wednesday. Make sure you talk to me if you have any questions as we move forward. And as I've said before, whether we do PBIS or something else, we need some more systematic approach, looking at behavior and being proactive with that. And PBIS comes with a lot of supports for that. So looking forward to talking more about that on Wednesday. Let me know if I can answer any questions. Literacy walkthroughs. Earlier this year, this fall, myself and a couple other people did a literacy walkthrough throughout our building. I really didn't talk a lot about that afterwards, but just as a review, it provides insight on on literacy not only at Westwood but across the district. It's focusing more on how we do things instead of what we're teaching, but how we do that, and it's focusing on best practices and what literacy support we need at our school and what's working well. So some of the things that came through from our first literacy walkthrough, even though it was very early in the year, all students that we observed were engaged in literacy activities. Learning targets were posted. Student-teacher interactions were respectful and focused on literacy. And one thing that came through is that we could use more nonfiction and culturally diverse texts in our classroom libraries. And we'll have our next literacy walkthrough next week on Tuesday, January 9th. You might remember that John Bauer was part of that, and John has moved on. And so we needed another John. So John Polhill will be joining us as someone that will be helping with the literacy walkthroughs. So looking forward to that. So what does that mean for you? Nothing. You don't need to change anything or do anything different. You might remember we just come in for a few minutes, take a quick snapshot of what's going on, and just go from there. So just wanted to give you a heads up on that. Literacy Night. One of our site development goals is to have a literacy night for our parents. And that's part of our site plan. And the reason is to promote literacy and reading at school and at home for parents and students. And we're planning on having this on February 22nd from 6:30 to 8 p.m. It's really just in the planning stages right now, and we're looking for help setting this up, forming a work group for this. Becky Fry is willing to take the lead on that, and Kathy Carroll is going to help with that too. And so what does this mean? There's a lot of different things that could happen. I'm hoping that we can come up with some things that, some strategies or ideas that we can share with parents about how to read with their kids at home. Maybe we'll have a read aloud by some teachers. Maybe we'll do some book cover bingo, have a guest storyteller, but there's lots of possibilities. You can see it's from 6:30 to 8, so it's an hour and a half. I'm looking for people that are willing to help with that on the work group, and then might be able to help on that when we come to that day. So this is something we can promote. It builds community, and it's part of our site plan too. So hopefully we can get a good group going forward on that. Summer school information. Hey, last year I did not feel like I did a good job of spelling out when we needed to have our referrals for summer school. So I want to make sure that we're all on the same page on this. So just so we all know, February 2nd, referrals are due from teachers. In March, those forms back for teachers to hand out at conferences. Those forms will come back to teachers to hand out at conferences. On April 6th, that's when those forms are due from parents. So just as a review, February 2nd, we need to have referrals in from teachers. So we can have those in your hands for conferences when you talk with parents about who would be good fits for that. In April 6th, those have to be back from parents. And in early April, if you're interested, that's when the hiring process will begin for teachers for summer school. And the program runs from January 9th through August 3rd. I believe it's Monday through Friday, and there's breakfast and lunch included. A little different this year. You might remember last year there was a Google spreadsheet where we put that information in. This year it's different. There is a form here that you'll have to fill out for students. Might be a little bit more work to do this, and so what I'm trying to do is figure out a way to make this as easy for you as possible. So I think what we're going to do is have a staff meeting upcoming where we can just spend time putting all that information together so that makes it a little bit easier for you. Also, there's another link here, Google Slides of the whole summer school process. I just have tried to put together some of the bare bones information. So if you're interested in seeing more about summer school, about what that all means, go ahead and click on this one here. If you have specific questions about registration, here's the contact information for Lindsay Heisel, who is the Targeted Services Clerk. So who are good referrals for summer school? Here's some of the information here. We're looking at MAP, we're looking at free and reduced. All of these things right here fit are good indicators that for students that would be good fits for summer school. Some other things to talk about here. Kindergarten's a little bit different because we don't have MAP. Little attendance information. You can go through this, look at this. If you have questions, let me know. But the big thing is we want to make sure that we fill out who we think would be good candidates for summer school ahead of time so that we can make sure our students that can benefit from this will be able to participate. Let me know if you have questions, but like I said, we will have a staff meeting upcoming in the next month or so when we can take care of filling out that information. Spirit Days. This is from Leanne Wesleski, who's helping with this on our learning supports team. We have some different Spirit Days coming up. January 26th, Pajama Day, February 16th, Crazy Sock Day, and so on. please take a look at this. If you as a grade level or a teacher have concerns about any of this, let's talk about this. This is something we'll touch briefly on Wednesday, just to make sure that we all are on the same page on this and can make this happen. So fun to celebrate and to build community in doing something fun like this, but I want to make sure that this is something we can all agree to and that it works. So let me know what you think on that. Talked a little bit about this in my last email last weekend, but just a little bit more on morning and end procedures. Morning, please remind kids to go to breakfast first. I sometimes see kids coming back after going down to our upper grades first, as opposed to going to lunch or breakfast first, because that ends up making it take longer for everyone. So please remind your kids that. Attendance, we're going to wait until 9:15. If you have a student that's consistently late and you think there's problems at breakfast, let me know. End of day procedures, 3:15 at our first bell. Teachers walk their kinders outside to the buses along with first grade. I believe first grade does that at the same time. And kinder carpoolers are escorted to the front door. And Kids Safari and enrichment classes are released to at 3:15. All the rest of us, all of our upper grades, second grade on, please don't dismiss or walk your kids out to the bus until 3:20. That just cuts down on some of the commotion. Just a little FYI, I want to make sure you're aware of this. Summer school is confirmed to not be at Westwood this summer. They'll be at Valley View Elementary. For Kids Safari, and summer school will be at Olson Elementary. So that gives Lynn and our custodial crew a little bit more time to work on getting our school set for next year. It's nice to have a break on that. Finally, I'm kind of skipping around here for the morning and end of day procedures. Please make sure this information is in your sub plan. Sometimes when there's a sub, they release kids early. We just want to make sure we're on the same page. There was an incident where we had a kid leave the building earlier than they should have when there wasn't anybody watching that. And so we just want to make sure that everybody is safe. So that's all I have. Have a great rest of the weekend, and looking forward to seeing you on Monday for a much warmer week. Take care, everyone.